The market tries to crater, but the bears can't follow through. Was this a flash crash, or do the bears have teeth? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in last week's video, I told you that we were reaching a very key resistance level and that the most likely path would be some kind of pullback, and that's exactly what we saw as the market cratered on Sunday night, only to be sideways and slightly bought on Monday. So the question is, do the bears have teeth, or is this just a flash crash? I'll get into that in just one second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, as always, before we jump into the chart, we do want to take a look at the results of our indicator. If you're new here, we have built a custom trading view indicator that is absolutely killing the market. It killed again yesterday, so let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 5-minute SPY chart, and this is what we use for day trading. If you're not familiar with the indicator, it is called Invest with Jacob Pivot Point Pro. We have it right here. If I turn it off, you'll see the sell and buy signals go away. Turn it back on, they come back on the chart. And this is what we use to day trade and swing trade. I'm going to show you swing trading too. This is incredible, guys. You're going to love this. If you're new here, the left here in yellow, that is the pre-market trading, and the right in blue is post-market trading. We don't trade that, but we do need it turned on for the indicator to work properly. You also need real-time data on the ES and the NQ. What I mean by that is if you come over here and hit this little paper, it'll pull up all the stocks you follow. If you have a little D up here on this ES or on the NQ or any of the futures, that means your data is delayed. It means you will get a 5 to 10 minute delay on your data depending, and that means your buy and sell signals won't come up properly. So you do need to have real-time data enabled. We got our first sell signal here, and it was a small winner actually because the sell flashed right at the top of the bar, so we get in as fast as possible. We got this ride down on this bar, made a little bit of money. Actually, in my room, we broke even. You could have made a little bit of money. The only reason we broke even is because we bought a long down here as well, so I let this run up a little further than I normally would because our swing long was doing okay catching any of this loss. So we broke even on this sell, no big deal. Got up here at the top, and right off the top, you get the sell signal, guys, right up here at 599.44, and it runs it all the way down here to 596.14. That's almost a $4 straight down drop. Absolutely killed it. If you know anything about day trading, a $4 drop is a huge, huge move. And this was a big move that the indicator had nailed. You had one more trade for the day because we do stop trading at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's because after that, the market gets pretty choppy and ugly, and there's not a whole lot to trade. But at any rate, we had one buy right here, and this did end up getting stopped out. But this huge $4 move down, incredible. The indicator got it. We had a break even, huge win, small loss. Another incredible day for the indicator. If you guys want to catch these types of moves, you need to check this out. And I'm going to show you how to get it in just a minute. But first, let's look at the swing trading because the world's biggest stock, NVIDIA, took a bloodbath today, and the indicator knew it long before DeepSeek was ever a thing. Now, the DeepSeek announcement that came out over the weekend, I guess, is what they're blaming this crater to the low side here on NVIDIA. We're on the NVIDIA weekly chart. For our swing trades, we do like the weekly chart. And you can see here, it has nailed all of the NVIDIA sells. So it had this sell right here. You always get in at the bottom of the bar because you get in at the close of the week to make sure the sell prints. So you get in at the bottom of the bar here on the sell. It's a 117. It took you all the way down to 90, so a $27 drop. That's like a 30% drop right there. That's not great. About a 25% drop right there in a few weeks. You could have protected your capital, or you could have hedged your NVIDIA, or you could have sold your NVIDIA. A whole bunch of different ways to play it. You also got a sell stop right here, which means continuation. Then you got another sell right here at 119. Okay, that went all the way down to 100, so a $20 or $19 drop. So that's about an 18% drop right there in 1 week. I mean, guys, this is absolutely crushing. You get continuation here, it runs it back up. You got a sell here. They dropped it from 134 down to 126, so that was a 8-point drop on about a 7% drop right there. And then on January 6th, you got a sell signal. 2 weeks ago, this they blamed on DeepSeek. The indicator had it already. We already knew that NVIDIA was in a bad way here. They bounced it and then dropped it like a rock here. So you got in at 135, and today they hit a low of 116. That's a $19 drop. on a 135 to over 10% drop, 15% drop. That's insane, guys. In a couple of weeks, that's pretty good profit, right? So if you think DeepSeek was the reason, the indicator already knew NVIDIA was weak. It already knew it was looking for downside, and it found it. So this indicator is crushing the market, guys. I want you to be a part of it, and I give a 30-day money-back guarantee because I know you're going to love it, because I love it, because my traders love it. I have hundreds of people using this indicator. I want you to have it too. Here is how you get it. There's a link down in the description. Click that link. It will take you over to our webpage. Once you're there, under our membership plans, there's TradingView indicators right here. It has our courses as well, but the indicator's $59 a month or $590 for the year. You do get 2 months for free if you do the yearly. Both come down here. I have it in writing now. 30-day money-back guarantee at the bottom. So you can test this for a whole month, see how wonderful it is, how we've been killing the market. Use it yourself. If you don't love it, no big deal. You get refunded. Okay? So you can check it out. Make sure it's for you before you ever really spend your money. And then you can move forward with it because I know you're going to love it. So check this out. Down here, guys, you can see what everybody's saying about it. It is absolutely killing the market. It takes the guesswork out. It makes it super simple, and it helps traders understand insanely difficult markets. This chop, this up and down, 3% down, 5% up, 6% down, 8% up. It's really hard to navigate unless you have the help and power of our indicator, and gives you peace of mind and makes it super simple. Guys, check it out. Click the link down below and get it. Now, let's jump into the charts and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1 hour futures chart for the SP 500. And you can see we got the giant drop here overnight on the weekend, and then they bounced it back up for most of the day after that. And as it stands right now, I still favor the bulls, and there's a few reasons why. Number one, this is only a 3-wave move down. Even though it was aggressive and fast, it doesn't have a 4 or 5 down here at the bottom. So I only have a 1, 2, and 3, or an A, B, and C, as it were. It came down to exactly, not quite exactly, but pretty much the 618. I told you that 5950 to 6,000 was the area to watch. It's exactly where they came down to, was 5950, and they bounced it from there. On top of that, I can argue that this is a 5-wave move up and then a pullback. So we'd be starting a potential wave 3 of C to the upside here, which we'd look for to come up into these highs again, pull back, and then break out. And that would be looking for 6,300 overall. We've been talking about that for a while. So those are the reasons we favor the bulls. This is not quite an impulsive structure, and then they bounced it too high for a wave 4. They got over the 50% retrace of wave 3. And once that happens, you're typically not looking for a wave 4 at that time. So the bearish path for now would be that we're starting a 1 of C down. Again, I don't think this is 5 waves. There's just no wave 4 in here that I can count as viable. I mean, maybe this little tiny one right here. I don't think this is a super likely path, but you do have small wave 4s at times. And then you would look for a bounce and then continuation in 3, 4, and 5, where we might make a lower wave 4 or a lower move down into the blue box or below, slightly below it. I don't think that's going to be the case. Again, based on structure, where we held, and overall structure back to the upside, I do think the bulls are kind of in control of curbing this crash. So it's starting to look like a flash crash, in my opinion. Again, until they can get back over 61.13, close this gap and start getting back up there, there is the potential for more downside. But I think I favor the bulls at this time based on the downside structure, the upside structure, where we held support exactly where we were supposed to, and the overall trading day on Monday. So it does look like this was a quick move down, and then the bulls are going to try to take back control. But again, until they're back over 61.13, this can still push to the downside. Over on the NASDAQ. Okay, guys, so over on the NASDAQ, we have a little bit different of a situation, and this would be the one thing that would make me think maybe we could see some more downside here. And that is the fact that the NASDAQ came so deep in its move down. It blew through the 24 to 1,400 to 500 area we thought it would hold. It blew through that and all the way down to almost take out this prior low. So we could see maybe the NASDAQ push down one more time while the ES doesn't, and then come back higher. That would be something I would think is a viable option for the NASDAQ. But again, I do think that there is a pretty decent 5 up. The NASDAQ is famous for very deep retraces. So we could see this as 5 up and then a pullback starting, the wave 3 of C breakout. And on NASDAQ, if they're going to go back to the highs, they got to really goose it here. So I do think you would see NASDAQ outperform over the next week, given that you have big earnings and big tech earnings announcements. That makes a lot of sense. So I would be looking for the NASDAQ to outperform to the upside. Can the NASDAQ go down? Absolutely. That 20,400 level is a very heavy level of support. And should they break through that, we could see a little bit of a continuation to the downside. So the NASDAQ does need to be careful as it has been weaker than the ES. It does have the ability to continue on to 23,000 plus. That would be still my primary at this time, but we have to have a fair amount of caution on the NASDAQ because of the depth of this pullback into the wave 4 low. They didn't break it, so it's still valid, but you normally don't see pullbacks that big. So you just have to have some caution here and make sure that they hold this low, because breaking this low will clearly lead to the 20,400 level. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to our website. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans. They both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to love it, become part of our trading team, and make sure it's for you before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. You literally have nothing to lose by checking us out. We also have our educational material. We have our Elliott Wave 4 Beginners Online course as well as our advanced course. In these courses, real traders are understanding this crazy market. They're able to find these key levels and trade off them effectively, and they're making money off of a irrational market. In the advanced course, we're going over many of the things we talk about in my videos, such as the advanced fib levels and diagonals. We're going through those heavily right now. We also have our double and triple threes, flats, triangles, and the trading Elliott Wave module is absolutely worth the price of the entire course. It teaches you where the trade setups are. If you watch my video from last week, I talked about the fact that going through the paths on the chart is simply an exercise in allowing you guys to understand what the most likely outcome is. It is not a trade setup or even a trade. It is simply where we're expecting the market to go over the next short to long period of time, depending on what the setup is. This here tells you how to actually trade the market effectively. Now, as you can see on the screen, our traders are loving it. But I do understand if this is too advanced or you're just getting started. And that's why we have our Elliott Wave 4 Beginners Online course. And this course is helping real traders make real money and finally understand the market in a way that makes sense. It's so confusing when good news makes the market go down and bad news makes the market go up. And that's because the news cycles, much like DeepSeek, did not make the market go down. As I showed you on our chart, the indicator knew weeks ago that NVIDIA was a sell and to get out. And we saw it play out with the catalyst of a quote-unquote DeepSeek announcement. I don't believe that for a second. I don't think the DeepSeek caused anything. I just think the market was ready to go down because before that we also said the market was ready for a pullback, and that's what we got. So this helps you understand all of that and how to find those key levels. I knew we were at a key level on Friday or Thursday and looking for a pullback, and that's what we got. In this course, you get 25 videos. You get an introduction where we introduce you to everything as far including your mindset, because that's a big part of trading. It's much more important than anything else we go through. We go through why Elliott Wave works and everything else. We go through your chart setup and tools to make sure you're all set up with the right things, that you have the right tools on your chart, and we go over how to use them and why we use them. And we go through the Elliott Wave 4 Beginners area, intro to Elliott Wave, all that stuff. We go through each of the waves. We go through the theory of alternation, the corrective depth theory, everything you need to know to make sense of this irrational market. Now, the cool thing is if you want to get these things at a discount, we have our bundle pack, and you can get them both for $37 off. But if you're looking for a way to get them for free, simply check out one of our monthly rooms, is that they are included in this price. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday call that lasts about an hour where I go through all the charts, give you all of the breakdowns, tell you where the key levels are, and tell you what the most likely outcome on each chart is. We also give you the beginner's course and the advanced course. You get all of that for just $49 a month. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing in day trade, so we do trade quite often in my room. And if you're looking for individual stocks, income trading, advanced trading, and futures trading, you need to check out PT's Throne Room, because in there you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as futures trading, individual stocks, income trading that absolutely crushes the market, and his reduced risk binary method that gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures that trade that's so unique. And it's something you really have to see to understand. That's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we'd love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, key takeaways for today. We would look for the bulls to try to continue here. Now, it is possible that this is 3, 4, and 5 completing here, and you do need a smaller pullback before we go higher. That is a possibility as well. But overall, we would look for the bulls to try to continue. And if that's going to happen, we'd look for them to break out towards 6,300 overall. If we start to see them fail to the downside, I do still think you're going to need a little bit of a bounce to about 60.80. Then we would look for them to break down a little bit further in potentially this B wave that holds, where they don't make a new low here, but they do on the NASDAQ. Over on the NASDAQ, a little bit different as they retraced way deeper on the NASDAQ on this wave B. They don't really have room for a lower low like they do on the ES. So while this could come down and make a lower wave 4, we could see the B wave play out a little differently on the ES. I do think the bulls can take control here. We do have a potential 5 up. That is a micro 5 up, so we're a little bit cautious with that. And then we have a pullback, and then we'd look for the Fed and tech earnings to be the catalyst to drive us higher towards 23,000 later in the week. However, if those catalysts drive us lower, we would look to the 20,400 area next, and then if they break below that, the bulls really need to start paying attention, as we could waterfall a little bit to the downside on the NASDAQ. Guys, that is your market update for today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.